below normal. So usually we used to get about 69 millimeter rainfall, and we got 59.9. So it's 13.0% below the normal or long period average. Now, if you just look at the right-hand side diagram, that is the rainfall realized in the month of April, but you find that only the central part of the country, especially Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, and Saurashtra and Kutch, got normal to excellent rainfall activity. In addition, of course, in the hills, Arunachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, and Himachal Pradesh got normal to excess rainfall activity. Otherwise,
तो इस वक्त आप आईएमडी की सबसे बड़ी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस देख रहे हैं, जिसमें आपको कई महत्वपूर्ण जानकारियां मॉनसून को लेकर दी जा रही हैं.
If I look at the various types of heavy rainfall events which occurred in the month of April, you will find that it was sporadic heavy rainfall events, especially northeastern states, which usually gets heavy rainfall in the month of April because of thunderstorms. Also, there has been some kind of heavy rainfall activity in southern peninsula and isolated parts of Madhya Pradesh and Odisha. If I compare the heavy rainfall activity during different
मॉनसून को लेकर महत्वपूर्ण जानकारी दे रहा है. जो मौसम विभाग है वो महत्वपूर्ण जानकारियां देता हुआ नजर आ रहा है. इस बार मॉनसून कैसा रहेगा, इसको लेकर महत्वपूर्ण जानकारियां आईएमडी की तरफ से जारी की गई हैं. आप महत्वपूर्ण प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस देख रहे हैं.
Last year, we have got 8 days, 33 days of heavy rainfall and 2 days of very rainfall activity. So that means this year compared to 2023 has been higher. But if you look at, for example, 2022 or 2021, 2020, it has been less. Whether we have left something somewhere. That's right.
अब तक कैसा मौसम रहा है और आगे मॉनसून कैसा रहने वाला है, इसके जरिए आप समझ सकते हैं. जो चार्ट दिखाया जा रहा है, या आप मौसम विभाग की महत्वपूर्ण प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस जो है वो देख रहे हैं.
You will find that the southern peninsula, India, has got the deficient rainfall activity in the month of April. The highest deficient, about 60% deficient in the month of April. So therefore, we thought to present here what has been the rainfall activity over southern peninsula 2024 compared to the previous years. This data is presented here from 1901 onwards. You will find that it was the fifth lowest rainfall activity for southern peninsula. This year, rainfall activity has been 12.6 millimeter, which is 60% below the long period average. And previously, if you just look at 1983, it was the lowest rainfall, that is 4.6 millimeter, followed by 1906, 7.3, 2016, 7.3, then 1950.
1983 में 4.6 जो मिलीमीटर बारिश हुई थी. उसके बाद 1906 में 7.3 हुई थी और 2016 में 7.3. 1950 में 10.7 जो है वो बारिश हुई थी. वहीं 2024 में 12.6. ये महत्वपूर्ण जानकारी मौसम विभाग द्वारा दी जा रही है इस वक्त.
Years if you just look at 1983, 1906, 2016, 1950, 2024. So there is a distribution of the year throughout the period of study, 1901 to 2024. Now let us look at the temperature during April. Maximum temperature in the top left is the maximum temperature distribution. You can find that it was quite high, and temperature was 34 to 45 degrees Celsius in different parts of the country, except the western Himalayan region like Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, and adjoining areas. The minimum temperature was also, you can see it was quite high, and according to the mean temperature, which is influenced by the maximum temperature.
अप्रैल 2024 में कैसा टेम्परेचर रहा, इसकी जानकारी दी जा रही है.
Maximum temperature from the long period average or from the normal, or you can say simply the departure from the normal. So maximum temperature anomaly or departure shows that it was warmer over eastern parts of the country, including eastern India, northeastern states, and of course the peninsular India. Northwest India or central India, if you just look at it, is green or light green, which shows that it is below normal maximum temperature. So therefore, there was clear distribution of temperature. Northwest and central India, it was below normal, and southern peninsula, east and northeast India, it was above normal temperature activity, maximum temperature activity, which is reflected in the mean temperature. Just look at. But if you consider minimum temperature, in the minimum temperature also, the central India was warmer, and northeast India, some parts and parts of central India, it was colder. So at the same time, the peninsular India and eastern northeast India was also warmer. What I want to say that it was daytime was warmer over east and northeast India, and also nighttime was warmer in east and northeast India. That means diurnal range between daytime and night temperature was also not so high in certain places, and becoming less. So therefore, this was another characteristics of this temperature distribution this year, South Peninsula and eastern northeastern India, where we experienced the heat wave conditions that we'll see afterwards. This is the temperature during April 2024 for all India and homogeneous regions, which is top ranks from 1901 onwards. If you just look at all India, it is not any highest or lowest. It is the 11th rank maximum temperature. If you like the northwest India, it is 48th rank because it was colder. East and northeast India, it was ranking as 9th in terms of warmer temperature. Central India, it was 49th. Very obvious if you remember the previous slide. Northwest and central India, there was rainfall activity to some extent, temperature was less. The South Peninsula India, if you just look at, it was number 2. That is the second highest. Since 1901, it was the second highest maximum temperature for the South Peninsular India. But minimum temperature, if you just look at, then East and Northeast India also, it was the highest minimum temperature. That the night was warmer for East and Northeast India. So you may be thinking why. So what happens actually in this East and Northeast India, you get on many days in the month of April, the thunderstorms, that is called as Kal Boishakhi. But this year, the frequency of Kal Boishakhi has become significantly below the average. So as a result, so temperature has not gone down, it has become warmer. Especially Northeast India, if I just tell you, the thunderstorm occurs in late night and early morning, and that is the time when temperature goes down. In one thunderstorm, temperature can go down up to 5 degrees Celsius. So therefore, this is the reason why East and Northeast India has become the warmest since 1901, if you compare in terms of the minimum temperature. Actually, the mean temperature for Northeast India also, it is the highest during this period. And South Peninsula has become the second highest with respect to minimum temperature, maximum temperature, and also the mean temperature. In South Peninsula also, the number of thunderstorm activity has been quite less this year. And the dry condition prevailed, and of course, temperature went rising. Now let us look at a little more detail about East and Northeast India for April 2014. So these are the years. So this was the highest rank, as I told you a little earlier. Minimum temperature was the maximum minimum temperature. That is the warmest night, I can say. It is the warmest night or warmest minimum temperature for East and Northeast India. But earlier it occurred in 2022 also. It was second highest. That means then 1908, 1954, 1980. So considering the years 2024, 2022, 1908, 1950, 1980, the maxima in high temperature shows that there is no such trend. You cannot say that it is because of the climate change or global warming that we got 2024 is the highest. But it could have been the trend. Then you could have seen the years in recent times would have been in the range of 1 to 5. Now let's look at East and Northeast India mean temperature. Here also you'll find that 2024, then 1908, 1973, 1960, 1938. So therefore, after 1973, you will say that this year, East and Northeast India has become the highest temperature, highest mean temperature. Now, consider the South Peninsula. Here it is the second highest, as I told you, in terms of maximum temperature, minimum temperature, and the mean temperature. And corresponding 5 highest years are mentioned here. So while you look at South Peninsula for the maximum temperature, what you find actually, it is 2016 and 2024, 2017, 2019, and 2026. Certainly, this table shows that in the recent time, out of 5 extremes, 4 extremes have occurred in the recent years. Similarly, if you consider the minimum temperature, you have 2016, 2024, and 2017. So 3 out of 5 has occurred in recent years. And mean temperature, similarly, 3 out of 5 has occurred in the recent years. Now, let us look at the trend. If I look at the trend of maximum temperature, you will find that, yes, our South Peninsular India, as I told you earlier, there is a trend. In the recent time, in Southern Peninsular India, there is a rise in temperature. And you can find out, I've just drawn an ellipse here. So these are the years you see. The green line is the normal line based on data of 1991 to 2020. But you find that unlike the previous years, since 1980s, you will find that the years have higher temperature than the normal. So that means it's becoming more frequent. They have above normal maximum temperatures are becoming more frequent over peninsular India in the recent years, commencing from 1980s. If you look at the minimum temperature, what you find that it is not so high, but still there is some trend that you are getting more frequent higher minimum temperatures. I think the mean, similarly, you have certain influences, but the most important is the maximum temperature in the peninsular India, we saw some kind of increasing trend. Now, this is the East and Northeast India. You can find that there is no such trend in East and Northeast India. You can find this diagram. There are certain peaks where temperatures increase, and recent time also you've seen. Now, this is the mean temperature East and Northeast India. There is no trend. So this is what I wanted to explain you, that the trend is visible in South India in terms of the maximum temperature. Now, let us look at disastrous weather events in the month of April. You can say that this heavy rainfall is shown in light blue color. You will find that there was heavy rainfall activity in this area, and Arunachal Pradesh also there was heavy rainfall activity, influences, etc. And then you have got lightning activity over eastern India, northern states, and different parts of the country. And then, of course, there has been some cases of hailstorms, and the heat wave conditions. Heat wave conditions is dominant in East India and Peninsular India. Now, if you just look at the damage due to these activities, so 32 persons reportedly died in April because of the various types of events. So hailstorms, it was damage to crops reported in the Amravati district of Maharashtra on 10 April and Karnal district of Haryana on 19. Heavy landslide occurred on 25th April in Diwan Valley and on 10th April at Akola, Buldana, Jalgaon, and Wasim of Maharashtra. And heat wave conditions claimed death in Balasore, both Cuttack, Puri, Sambalpur, that is 5 in Odisha, and 14-15 April, Banka, Vaishali in Bihar too, and the 23-24 April, in Kannur, Palakkad, Kerala, 2 on 28 April. So there are different occasions. There has been deaths, I'll say, to summarize, that heat wave has caused death in Odisha, and then Bihar, and then Kerala. And this data is not sacrosanct, I will tell you. This is just data, whatever media we have received it. And I think information आप लोगों के पास ज़्यादा हो सकता है, or otherwise government may have the better information. But there has been certain death due to lightning also. And below the table shows the lightning deaths. You can find out there are certain sporadic deaths in different parts of the country, especially Karnataka, Odisha, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Haryana, Maharashtra, and Telangana. These areas have reported the lightning. There has been lightning deaths to the livestock also. So one is reported here, that is Andhra Pradesh, 28 livestock, but there could be more also. That could be not. Now, this is the heat wave in April 2024. In the month of March, there was no heat wave conditions. Only Saurashtrian Kutch reported 1 or 2 days, and Konkan reported 1 day. But in the month of April, there has been 2 spells of heat wave conditions. One is 5 to 7 April over eastern India, Southeast Peninsula, and again 15 to 30th April. 15th, 30th April, actually, initially it started, 15th April started in Odisha, 17th April started in West Bengal, and then it intensified and expanded to Bihar, Jharkhand, Southeast Peninsula, especially Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, interior Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. And towards the end also, we got the heat wave conditions for Konkan and Saurashtrian Kutch. So on the left-hand side diagram shows the distribution of number of heat wave days in different parts. The maximum heat wave days has been 18 days over Odisha and 16 days over West Bengal. It is followed by 10 days each in Jharkhand, then North Central Karnataka and Rayalaseema, and other regions are 7, 8, 6 like that. Now, if you remember what we predicted for the month of April, we told that there will be 8 to 10 days against normal of 1 to 3 days. So there has been even more than the prediction in the state of West Bengal and Odisha. Otherwise, in different places, it comes within that forecast range. So what are the reason then? The longer dry spell, that is, I'm talking about not of 5 to 7, I'm talking about 15th onwards, what happened till 30th. The longer dry spell has been because of the absence of thunderstorms. There was no weather systems which supported the thunderstorm activity over eastern India and the southern peninsula. That is one of the reasons why the absence of rain has helped to increased and persisting heatwave conditions. Then if you go a little deeper, what happened actually, there is an anticyclone circulation which persisted in most of the days over west central Bay of Bengal, that is near Andhra Pradesh coast. If you just imagine, here is an anticyclone circulation over Andhra Pradesh coast, what happens actually, because of the anticyclone, wind blows from the land towards the sea over Odisha, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, etc. So that you do not get any moisture or any sea breeze from the Bay of Bengal. And therefore, the land breeze becomes stronger, and land breeze are dry and warmer, and therefore temperature rises. And temperature is reason. It could not be cut off because the anticyclone did not become active. There is a good news while I am explaining to you. Today, there has been thunderstorm activity over Odisha in the known time, and it may be continuing in certain parts also. So there has been some disruption in the continuous heat conditions. So we are expecting that now the heat condition will abate. We told that earlier from 2nd onwards, and that may be correct. From tomorrow onwards, you will find that the heat condition will be slightly abated, but gradually it will decrease. Not sudden decrease. The certain pockets will have heat conditions over the eastern parts of the country. There will be gradual improvement. Same is the case maybe South Peninsula. Now, let us look at the statistics. If I just look at different years from 2010 onwards, so I'm presenting here, you will look that for the month of March, it was quite less. Blue is month of March, and red is month of April. If I look at the month of April, 2024, there is 118. So this is the average number of days taking into weighted with meteorological subdivisions. And previously in 2022, it was 198. And then before that, if you just look at it, is 2010. So maximum is 2010 for country as a whole. It was followed by 2022. And this year, 2024, also we have the third highest subdivision days, of heatwave conditions. Now, if you just look at especially Odisha, which was the maximum days, you will find that in earlier it was 23 days in 2010, and then 21 days in 2016, and 2024 is 18. So these are the maximum number of heatwave days in a particular subdivision. And further also we have done some analysis for this Odisha state only I'm representing here because it was maximum. So you will find that yes, there is a variation within the state itself, and severe heatwave conditions occurred only in north coastal Odisha, you can say. North coastal Odisha and northern areas had the severe heatwave conditions. Otherwise, there were heatwave conditions in different parts of the country, be it interior, be it coastal, but eastern part had more heatwave conditions and severe heatwave conditions. So your flag indicates 13 days. That means Ganjam district, Khurda district, and Jagatsinghpur district. Khurda district includes Bhubaneswar, and we have got the maximum number of heatwave days. Now, so this is already I have discussed what is the reason for this type of activity. There was no heatwave condition. There was no heatwave conditions for north and central India during April because there was heat. These western disturbances. There are 5 active western disturbances that affected northwest and central India. 4 of them were very slow moving. So since they moved slow, there continuously there was rainfall activity, or the wind was northwesterly with a colder wind. So therefore temperature was optimal. And then also there was rain or snow activity in western Himalayan region, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, etc. And adjoining plains for 2 to 4 days. Isolated heavy rainfall also occurred sometimes 3 to 5 days in the western Himalayan region and adjoining plains. The most active western disturbance, if you all remember, which affected Dubai in Oman, that was the period 11 to 17, and on 15th actually it occurred there, 15, 16 occurred there, and then it moved towards the region, but by the time it reached our region, it has lost the steam, but still it caused rainfall activity and snowfall activity for Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal, and Uttarakhand. So heat wave conditions I just discussed with you. Then many areas of west coast, Kerala to Konkan, including Mumbai, experienced hot and humid weather. This time we have included a hot and humid weather, when temperature is 3 degrees Celsius above normal and humidity is above normal. We call it as hot and humid weather. And that hot and humid weather continued for a longer time in the coastal areas, including Konkan. So low winds with moisture incursion from North Bay of Bengal caused heavy rain from Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, and Tripura during some days in the month. Now let us look at the verification. What was the forecast? On the left-hand side is the observed rainfall category. You will see that there is very good rainfall activity over northwest India and west central India. I will tell northwest and west central India, very good rainfall activity. Adjoining peninsular India also. And this was the forecast. Because also there was a good rainfall activity. Forecast was there for northern parts of peninsula, northwest India, and western part of central India. So that has happened to a large extent, but it was a little underwhelming over Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh, but very good activity as compared to forecast. Forecast are normal to be above normal, but it has occurred mostly above normal activity. The remaining parts, it has become below normal, as you predicted. It has become below normal. Now let us look at the temperature. Yeah, this is the maximum temperature. So we predicted that there will be a very high temperature, high probability. The red color indicates the high probability. More than 75% probability was there in the southern peninsula and eastern India. We will have the above normal temperature. You can find that southern India and eastern India, where heat wave occurred, including this one, has the higher normal temperature. But if we look at the central part and northwestern part, the temperature became below normal. So though we predicted with a low probability that it will be warmer, but it did not become warm, it became cold. It is because of the western disturbances, as I discussed earlier, which caused rainfall activity and northwestern winds, limiting the temperature to the normal or below normal conditions. Now let us look at the minimum temperature. Yeah, minimum temperature was quite impressive as compared to maximum temperature performance. Most parts it was predicted that it will be above normal, but high probability was given for eastern parts of the country, peninsular India, and east and northeastern states. And that has happened in the central part, this month, Madhya Pradesh and adjoining areas, and some parts of northwest India, it was below normal temperature, which could not be predicted. Otherwise, remaining areas, it could predict well. Now, following this monthly forecast, we also issued the extended range forecast for heat wave conditions. This is, for example, the graphical heat wave prediction we have introduced this year. We need your comments and suggestions also to further improve it. Like cytogenesis, we are also providing here the heat wave probability for week 1 and week 2. So these are the forecasts for the week 5 to 11 April. You can see here, eastern part of country, we gave the moderate probability for occurrence of heat wave, and it has occurred also. This is the realization. The comparison of these two, if you see, in extended range also it could be predicted well. And this is for the remaining week, second week. This is the third week, and this is the fourth week forecast, and accordingly, the actual what has happened. Now, this is a week 2 forecast. So every Thursday we issue week 1 and week 2. So week 2 forecast, we told that here, this will be the heat wave conditions. So heat wave conditions prevail there. That is the West Bengal, Jharkhand, and Odisha. That is heat wave conditions. But heat wave conditions also prevail over eastern part of the peninsula. This was not predicted for week 2. Same thing happened for this week 2 forecast. So what I find that for week 2, there was some kind of under estimation for the peninsular India. Otherwise, for the eastern India, it could be predicted well for the week 2. That means 15 days in advance, it could be predicted that there will be heat wave conditions for West Bengal, Odisha, and adjoining areas.
तो इस वक्त आप ये आईएमडी की महत्वपूर्ण प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस जो है वो सुन रहे हैं, जिसमें आईएमडी एक महत्वपूर्ण जानकारी देते हुए नजर आ रही है कि कैसा मानसून रहेगा, किस तरीके से मौसम जो है रहने वाला है। तो आईएमडी की तरफ से ये जो जारी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस है, इसे आप सुन रहे हैं। कई सारी चीजों की कई महत्वपूर्ण जानकारियां, कौन से इलाकों में अलर्ट रहेगा, आगे क्या रहेगा, किस तरीके से मानसून रहने वाला है, इसको लेकर आईएमडी जानकारी दे रहा है। आपको बता दें, जिस तरीके से आईएमडी ने जानकारी दी है, उस हिसाब से मौसम को लेकर कुछ बड़ी घोषणाएं जो है आईएमडी की तरफ से की गई हैं। जो महत्वपूर्ण आगे आने वाले टाइम में कैसा मौसम रहने वाला है, इसको लेकर जानकारी दी गई है।